everybody. Welcome to Banner and Chance. So excited to bring you this week. So excited to be playing with these fine folks. It's interesting where you think about a game all week long, and then it comes down to it, and you're just really into getting going. And so that's exactly what we'll do. All right, but welcome everybody. Good to see you. So, last time on Banter and Chance, our party survived a treacherous crossing across the Moon Sea. This claimed the lives of two of their friends, including one of the party members, Clara. The morning of that day, the boat raced towards shore and was beached. And Jaron Redstream, the werebore pilot, quickly hopped off, carrying a treasure chest, escaping from the party and heading down the beach towards the town of Keeps Sorrow. They readied the bodies of their friends to get off the boat. And as the tide rose, Rogar found himself anchoring the party as they pulled each other onto shore. While they intended to bury the body, there was no place, and so they headed down the stretch of beach. Eventually, obstructed by the incoming tide, Geen, heartbroken at the death of her friend Clara, angry at a secret that had been uncovered between Clara's partnership with her mentor Goro, took the time to say goodbye to her friend, set her adrift on the Moon Sea, and committed her body to its depths. Finding themselves sheltering in a cave with a strange hermit, Runt was given a gift of two ancient bone daggers. And after that afternoon convalescing there, as the tide withdrew and they were able to make it the rest of the way to Keeps Sorrow, they were met by a strange gnome named Bilk, who helped them find an inn where they were able to spend the night and finally get a long rest. After that night, they were awoken by voices and the sounds of a town waking up and merchants getting on the road. Both Rogar and Kane descended the steps. Rogar found himself following a captain he suspected to be a Grey Cloak, a Grey Patriot, and Kane heard the booming voice of a Minotaur. And as he listened, it was clear that this Minotaur was arranging purchase and whatnot. And the person he was talking to when he spoke uttered familiar words of 15 gold for 15 skillets. A Grimshackle brother, one that they'd encountered at Grimshackle prison near the town of Flan, then emerged, and seeing Kane, he got a mischievous look at his eye, pointed it at him, and uttered a threat. 15 gold to keep his mouth quiet. We're not sure exactly what he intends to do, but Kane now finds himself heading upstairs.
Downstairs, right?
From the downstairs up to the bedrooms, yes. Yeah. So that's where we are. Rogar, you were on the street, wagons bustling around you. Geen and Runt, you were in your room, and Kane, you find yourself on a staircase of the inn at Keeps Sorrow. Let us start with you, Kane. What do we have you doing?
All right. I'm gonna put up my hood. I'm gonna go straight down towards the little guy. What was his name again? The guy who saw me. We also saw at the prison.
Yes, his name is Bevek Grimshackle.
All right, I'm gonna put on my hood and go straight towards Bevek.
You see, Bevek is talking to the innkeeper and a a group of what look like city watch. He only stops there for a moment. He's quickly scribbling something out. He looks up at you briefly, and then he spins on his heel and dodges between the people that are going in and out of the inn's door. And as he does, he thrusts the note into your hand, and then quickly gets through the legs of these people in front of you.
Dang, he's too fast for me. All right, I open up and read the note.
It says, "Wait here, half hour."
All right, I put the note away, and knowing that there's that Geen and Run are still upstairs, I'm gonna head back upstairs.
Rogar, you find yourself in the middle of the street here in the town of Keep Sosoro. You've seen this gentleman, this large captain of the Grey Patriots, head out of the inn, and he's now talking to a wagon driver. You can see that there are 3 wagons loaded in front of them. Each of the wagons has a driver. It has either an archer or a person with a crossbow in the front seat, and there are an assortment of what look actually like a paramilitary force with pikes and swords, and they're well dressed, and you can count roughly 6 guards to a wagon, and the horses are hitched, and they are stamping and getting ready to go. And the captain is giving his final instructions to have this caravan leave.
What direction are they facing?
They're facing directly away from the port. You understand this to be southerly, okay? Away from the Moonsea. Geen and Runt, you find yourself in the bedroom. So why don't you tell us what we see you doing?
I'm gonna go through Clara's bag one more time just to kind of see what's in there and reminisce.
Okay. Once again, as you go through there, you can find her cameo that you had seen before. Whether or not it's still in the bag, you know that you have the black onyx lotus. You had taken a fine crystal ink pen, fountain pen, or not fountain pen, but a quill, and laid it with her, so that's gone. There still is some writing implements. The bag is still somewhat torn open, hastily tied at the corner, but it's her belongings, as meager as they are with you. I believe she also had a small amount of gold.
Okay.
And Runt. Oh, sorry, pardon me, Guy.
Oh. We only had this room for the night, or were we staying for longer than that?
That's undecided, but
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna go through the bag then.
Okay. And under the bed.
Yes, Rent is under the bed, curled up with Clara's shoe, and you'd probably hear some because we had a rough night last night.
All right. So as the morning continues, Kane, what do we find you doing now?
I'm gonna go up to the room and I'm gonna knock on the door. And are you guys awake?
Go away!
I'll take that as a yes. I open the door, go in, and I say, "You remember Bevik from Grimshackle Jail?"
The annoying little dwarf.
Yep, the 15 gold guy. Yeah, he's here.
Here,
is it like downstairs?
Here.
But now?
Downstairs, and with what I presume is the brother of the Minotaur that Rogar killed.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Did he see you?
I say this pretty much speaks for itself, and I hand them the note. I hand Geen the note.
I'll take it.
Wait, where's Rogar?
He went out to the street, but he'll be fine out there. It's out in the open. They wouldn't strike.
No. And Rent's gonna start collecting her things and making her way downstairs to try and catch up with Rogar wherever he's at.
Rogar, you find yourself standing in the street, not inconspicuous, watching this force get going, and now the wagons are starting to move forward, and the captain moves to the front of a column, hops on the lead wagon, and they start down the road as the townspeople are all milling about, going into shops and about their business.
I'm gonna follow, run out the door, quickly get my things and follow her out the door because I'm too concerned about this young little girl running around by herself looking for Rogar.
Okay. So Runt and Geen, you're piling down the stairs.
Yeah.
And Kane?
I'm gonna follow Geen out.
Okay. Carrying all your stuff? Yes?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Rogar, you see your friends come out the front of the inn.
Is everything okay?
We have a problem. And I'll hand him the note. And look to King.
One of our old associates, Bevik Grimshackle, is here with the Minotaur.
There is no Minotaur. I made sure of that.
I'm thinking a brother. Or
Why-
cousin or something
Why-
close to it.
Does he want to meet you?
What I heard from him, 15 gold per murder witness.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
So,
Well,
where are we meeting at? Or
Well, do we have enough money to pay this man? Do we want to pay him?
no. We got to meet somewhere where I can hide, and then I can stab him.
Well, we also have, and Kane takes out the Spellguard token, the Manor of Law on her side.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. But where are we meeting so that I can stab him?
Just downstairs in the tavern area.
In the tavern. Okay. Okay. That
And
what
where's-
time?
30 minutes from now, so I'm...
It's about 20 minutes from now, yeah.
Oh, yeah, 20 minutes from now. 20 minutes from now.
Where's this Minotaur?
In the tavern, sitting at a table. Was it in the far corner, or...
It was down, this was sort of a T-shaped, the lobby branches off into two sections, one of which is slightly larger than the other. One hooks around with an L. You can see there's a bar on one wall, and you've actually sat in that section there.
Okay.
And the Minotaur is around that corner. Yep.
Okay. I relay this information to them.
Well, I like Runt's idea. Why don't we just get rid of him?
That's 2 votes for Stabby.
The thing is, the murders that are happening in this town, they might link it back to us.
Well, then let's get the little man out of town.
That's what I'm saying. We should meet with him, see what he has to say first, see how much he knows, and then we decide from there. Because we know that they're most likely staying in the same inn as us.
Okay. What does Rogar think? Rogar?
Murder does not beget murder.
Okay, but what if he's like really bad?
It doesn't make you any better.
Why is
Uh,
he here anyway? Why be all the way here with a Minotaur?
Well, the Grey Cloaks, the Grey Patriots, they were heading south. And at that moment, I'll actually stop someone passing by and say, "Excuse me, Goodman, where exactly does that road lead?"
That road. Oh, well, it heads all manner of places. It links up with the main road. It You ride a few miles, and then it'll break both to the east and the west. I'm grabbing my map. Pardon me. You can find your way along that road. If you head to the west, you'll arrive in Elventree. Farther on to Hillsfar, and then of course you've got your choice to head to Ulash and Flan, or you can head to Ashaben Ford, is down that road, and the other way, you'll get to the ferry that will take you to Elmwood. A little farther south, you can of course go to Harrowdale, and there all the ports that are along the Dragon Reach. And you know Dragon Reach is on the north side of the Sea of Falling Stars.
What are we going to do anyway? Are we going to follow that man that took the chest? Or are we going to find his father? Group?
Well, we need him to find his father's group. I think he's a part of his own group, and his father's part of another group that tried to kill him.
I say we go to the father. And I look very pleased.
But
That's the group that just left.
Then let's go after them. Ignore this dwarf and just go.
We have to clear our names.
How many people were on those wagons?
Many, and they had 6 guards to a wagon.
Yeah.
Definitely prepared.
I don't know about you, but I would love to see, my uncle again, but not in pieces. And I don't think we would do right by the people we've lost if we died by making a stupid decision.
So what's the stupid decision? Going after Barrick or going after the father?
Going after the father. Because I feel like we know that the person with the chest is going to meet up with his group to go after his father. I feel like we help him out, we head over, we kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Or we just go follow the father and wait for Jaren's team to come and do what he's going to do and just pick up the pieces after that.
This is not a bad idea, but Rogar, you said we have to clear our name. Like, what? What do you mean, clear our name?
Nothing
We didn't
that was
do
done
much
at,
wrong.
Nothing that was done at Grimshackle Keep was done correctly.
The J. Okay. So, we got to kill the dwarf. Because then he can't tell nobody, right?
It's
Well,
a little
what
bit more
evil
complicated.
did we do at the jail? Those people were attacking us. We were just defending ourselves.
I mean, yeah, I only killed like 3 people.
We just were getting out of that jail like everyone else. So we had to do what we had to do. It's
What?
not
Yeah,
like...
it was like a prison rat. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But we're a murder witness to that Minotaur's brother's death.
Well, then we killed the Minotaur too. I got 2 stabbies.
I've got this. I got...
This is too public. The word will get around that some sort of group is going across these lands, and we may become a threat to them.
Damn.
So do we want to talk to Barrick, or should we just send you to talk to him alone?
That does not sound safe. That sounds like a bad idea.
Well, we can watch from afar, Rent. I'm sure you can hide.
Yes, very good hiding. Yes.
I feel that I might be able to handle Vivek, but it doesn't hurt to have help with me.
I'll sit with you.
Thank you.
And
So
did we
you
watch
two-
from the shadows, Geen? Yes.
I like that.
Okay.
But are you going to go up to him with the gold or just speak to him? Is he
Wi-
expecting to be paid now?
I don't. What I'm assuming is yes, but if we do not have that gold, he'll probably give us a timeline and or say, "Give me the gold by the end of the night," or "That Minotaur's coming for you," or something.
Yes, and then we follow him. We sneaky follow him and then stab it.
This brings me to a question. Kane,
Yes.
those are very strange looking bone daggers. Is there anything that you can do to identify them?
Let me check. Can I see them for a second,
No, you not touch.
just to see
It's a
what I can?
gift for me. This just says for Runt.
I just want to see if I detect anything. And-
But that's watching you.
And I'm going to cast Identify on the daggers.
Okay. So the scene is that you're at the front on the boardwalk here,
Yeah.
in the middle of this throng, and some people actually stop to look at these daggers curiously, and
What you looking at? Move on, buddy. This man.
oh, and they push past. By this time, I'll actually. Well, what I'll do, just give me one moment. You can see that these two daggers are indeed magical, and but let me have you roll to see just how much you understand, if you could roll intelligence, please.
Intelligence, not Arcana. No,
Arcana. Pardon me, Arcana.
All right.
Isn't Arcana intelligence root?
It's talent space. 13.
13. What you can tell about these is that they definitely have magical properties, and that they appear to be, even though there's two daggers, they appear to be a single unit. They work together, these two things. You are able to understand that the one dagger's power lies in the ability to rob the voice from someone else. And from the other, you can tell that it allows a person to step through the mists. You can convey this, but as you tell Runt this, I'm assuming you're going to tell Runt this.
I'll tell Runt.
Runt, this is strangely familiar to you. This is not a surprise to you at all. It's the first time you've heard it. It's the first time you've contemplated the words coming out of Kane's mouth, but it does not feel at all like surprising. These already seem quite familiar, and you can actually feel that you've, as Kane took them away, that you are missing them now. Not in a malicious way. The other thing that you are very clear of is this is not the end of what their abilities are. Okay?
Okay.
I might tell Runt this, and I hand them back.
How much
Okay.
time left before you need to meet Barrett?
You're about 5 minutes now on that half-hour clock.
Come on, let's go hide.
Well, we need to know where they're meeting before we find a hiding spot.
It's the tavern, right? It's inside there.
Inside?
It is indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's go.
Which
Brent and I are
side?
going to find a hiding spot.
Right.
Can
So-
I whisper as we're going? And maybe we get some more of the drink we had last night. Yes.
To the as you step into the door, and the inn's reception is right in front of you. To your left is the smaller antechamber with a few tables. It seems a little more posh in there. People are there eating breakfast and whatnot. There's no real It doesn't have a bar feeling to it. It's a little more of a cafe, if there is such a thing. And around the other side, you can see the much longer hall, which stretches out to your right and then hooks away from you around the corner of the inn. It is around that corner that you had heard the Minotaur's voice, Kane.
Okay.
What would each of you be doing now that you have these two directions to choose from? And of course, just slightly to your left, slightly to your right, and up the stairs, you can go back up into the upper levels of the inn.
Where specifically was Varric asking to meet Kane? Where he gave the letter, and that was right outside or inside?
It was inside the tavern. I think he assumed just anywhere in the tavern.
Okay. Is it crowded in the pubby area?
Yes, both sides are fairly crowded. This is the central meeting place. It feels like for the town, and you have merchants and guests of the hotel filling this place. Locals even are there.
Runt, do you want to hide together or separately?
Let's go separate in case, you're much bigger. You're probably not as good as hiding as me, so...
No.
But I'll keep an eye on you, you'll be safe.
Which direction are you going to go, Kane and Rogar, as Geen and Runt decide where to hide?
I'm gonna say far away from that Minotaur as possible.
Okay, you can't see any Minotaur right now, of course, because he was across the... He was around the corner.
Yeah, but I know where he is. I just want to sit, like, opposite of the room from him.
Okay, and Rogar?
Following Kane's lead, Kane was the one who heard him.
So you were off to the left side of this inn, on the posher side of the establishment. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, there are not the rough benches and booths that were on the other side. Instead, these are finely appointed tables with chairs and this kind of thing. Well, more finely appointed than the picnic setup that's down the other side. As you're sitting there, you notice a small figure over in the corner coming towards you, and he comes to your table and he stops. He goes, "Well, hello, friends." He says, "Remember me? I hope you had a pleasant seat at the inn." And of course, you recognize that this is Bilcorum Yegan Jakar Felbin Ordame, who was the barber that introduced himself to you. He was also the one that informed you of the fact that there was indeed this rumor of this band of miscreants that was going around and terrorizing the shores of the Moonsea. I hope you have a good day. I would love it if you'd come and visit me at the barbershop a little bit later. It'd be fantastic to see you again. Well, I've got customers, so good day. And you can see him skip out of the inn and through the door.
Awesome.
He probably sees much.
Yeah, I was thinking about talking to him.
You watch as he heads, because you're able to see out the window. You can see him head across the street, and head up into a small, thin little establishment that has a red and white pole up on it. And he opens up the door. You can hear the faint ring of a sprung bell, and disappears inside.
If we are to pay 15 per each of us, and we have 80 gold left, we'll be left with 20. If he really wants 60 gold, we should cut him a deal and walk as quickly as possible.
100%, I agree with that. But if there is any way to get some information out of it too, no reason to have a nice chit-chat with him.
Absolutely.
At this point, you see the halfling step into the inn, step around the far corner of the booths where you were avoiding. He's in view now, and he looks down, and he glances at you, and he sort of glances around the corner, and then he kind of puffs his chest up, and he begins to strut, his halfling strut towards you, and he looks quite superior to everybody that's here. Now, you've met this gentleman before, and you know that he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer, but he he heads up towards you and stands in front of you, and he says, "Well, you two, where are the other two? Where are the other three, I should say?" And Geen and Runt, maybe you could just describe to me exactly where you would be trying to hide at this point within the inn.
I actually wanted to. The stairs are near the front.
The stairs
To
are
go-
directly off to one side of the lobby desk.
So you can see anyone who passes by.
You could see anyone that's passing
Okay.
by if you're at the top of the stairs. Yes.
Okay. Then my idea was to go back up the stairs
Okay.
and try to hide around wherever there's like a corner.
Sure.
If there are people coming up the stairs, I'll just kind of head back to my room like I'm just doing something, or if there's people coming out, I'll go down the stairs at their same pace, just
Sure.
casually, but I'm gonna hang around the stairs. And when I see the halfling dude go by, I'll just kind of get a little bit closer, but I don't want to show my face because it stands out in this area.
There are housekeepers up and down the stairs. There's people leaving their rooms carrying bags down. You were able to blend in quite easily, look through the banisters, etc. Be quite nonchalant and not catch any major attention, other than you would because you are fairly exotically dressed, right? Runt, where would we find you in the room at this point?
She would have been waiting so that when he walked in, she could kind of fall in step behind him, kind of ducking behind individuals as she walked.
Sure. So you're ghosting this guy.
Yes.
Okay. So, Geen, in fact, you see Runt staying a few steps behind and moving behind him as he approaches the table.
I just chuckled to myself.
So he's now standing there, and you may still be at the foot of the stairs. And Runt, you will have had to find some stationary hiding place or tuck into a shadow behind a chair or table or whatnot. But now he is standing in front of you two, elbow level with the table top, and he says, "No matter. I trust you," and he points at you, Kane, "have given them my message.
Yes, I have.
So do you know what I can do to you? You see, I'm in the company of Commodore Wardhollow, and you killed his brother, you guys, and you ruined our livelihood. My brother is dead because of you, and so I figure that you owe me something for my silence."
Yes,
And,
yes,
in fact,
yes. I don't think it was because of me, and I gesture and I hook my thumb underneath the two strands of the bands that hold my my spell guard pendant, and I pop it out onto my chest. But I'm pretty sure that Minotaur started the riot in the first place, wanting to get back to the Grey Patriots, was it?
Oh, I see. So you think that this is an issue of legality, then? That's what you think this is? Yes?
Yes, it's the matter of the law, isn't it?
No, I would say, sir, that this is a matter of revenge.
Revenge.
You killed someone's brother, and that someone wants to find you, and I can expedite that quite nicely.
Can we hear this conversation from where we're at?
You can definitely hear it, Runt.
Okay.
You may pick up bits and pieces, Geen, as you're a little bit farther back, and there are people talking between you.
I want to try and lean out and catch Kane's eye from under a table and just hold up my dagger.
Okay, Kane. How does one roll that? Let's roll charisma.
Sleight of perception.
No. Go for it. I think Kane's.
Oh, okay. Perception, I guess?
No, I was gonna actually say Runt. I want you to do performance. Let's call it
The
that.
performance? Okay. I can
Yeah.
handle that, I think. Five.
You may be seen, but not noticed or understood, right? So let's say, Kane, you're not entirely aware that Runt is there behind you. So there's no coordination at this point.
Okay. I'm gonna say to Bevik, quick
And
question.
Rogar, you are at the table, in your big hulking form with these two. Yes. So
The thing is, Bevek, why in the first place are you in cahoots with this Minotaur's brother?
He came looking for his brother, and what he found was 2 half-brothers. I think you can appreciate that he was none too happy with me. So let's just say I'm in his employ now. And I'm looking to stay in his good graces and or win my freedom. So I would not run from him, but I certainly could deliver you on a golden platter.
You do know that I work for the Spell Guard and I help in these certain types of situations.
Well, you could try that, sure. But I don't think Waterdeep's badge holds much sway here.
Maybe not Waterdeep's, but
The spell guard.
maybe a good paladin of mine can. And I point over to Rogar.
So he looks up at you, Rogar. What would he see?
Me eyeing him very, very curiously.
Okay.
And then, what is it that you want?
15 gold for murder witness. I think 15 gold from each of you every week, yes, every week to buy my silence is fair enough. Wouldn't you say? That's only, well, there's 5 of you, so 15 carry the 1. That's like 75 gold.
It's more 60, but
5 of you. 5 of you. 15, 15, 15, 15, 15.
Well, the thing is, it's just me and Rogar now. We parted ways since then.
$30 gold for murder witnesses, huh?
Seems like it. Last time I checked, they hit it on a boat. And judging by the storm that just hit, I don't think it's too kind that they're going to be surviving anytime soon. Or turn up.
I tell you what, since you're just passing through, 2 weeks head start should be enough. You give me 100 gold for the 2 of you, and that will buy 2 weeks of my silence.
Huh.
Can I start searching the tavern to see if I can find this Minotaur anywhere?
Sure, you certainly can.
Yeah.
You're not immediately in his sight line, so if you want to make your way there, you can just describe how you're going to be progressing. So
Okay.
you would have to cross in front of the desk and down the long stretch.
Okay. Well, I would like to start off by army crawling from under the table,
Okay.
and then kind of sliding up behind someone's back, and then walking with them as they move.
Sure. So you're able to clear the scene here. I will have you, because you are army crawling, I'm going to just go ahead and roll perception for me very quickly.
Let's see.
Just to see if anybody else finds this rather alarming.
Work.
Do I see Runt doing this?
21.
You do. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're fine. You definitely army crawl with none but Geen seeing you. Geen, what's your reaction to see somebody worming across the floor, and then this
I'm gonna glance over at her.
like a very young girl?
There's a banister there.
Yeah, I had assumed you would come down to the sort of
Yeah.
midpoint of the stairs, and you're kind of behind the desk, obscured by a wall, trying to nonchalantly stand midway up the staircase, right?
Right. Okay. So I'm just gonna kind of turn my back to Runt and just try to hold a chuckle and kind of
Okay.
do a little head shake, and then I'll
So
turn
Ron,
back
you
around.
now are up on your feet, yes, and so
Yes.
you're heading past Clara, and you can see her there as you pass by.
Keen.
Geen, sorry, pardon me.
Too soon.
Soon.
I'm crying now.
Okay, and you
Okay.
make it past the tables and benches and booths that are down this, and then you're able to see the corner now. You're at the corner of where there's more booths heading off to your left, hooking around the northern corner of the business, the northeastern corner of the building.
Okay.
Okay, so what do? You're at the corner.
I just want to scope out the entire place and see if I can find.
You see vendors behind you. Vendors. Pardon me. You see patrons in front of you eating. You see some people serving. There's one table right there around the corner with a huge amount of dishes on it. Farther down, you see that there is a saloon door at the end of this room. One heading outside. There's another one that heads into the kitchen. You do see no Minotaur, and it would be fairly fair. This hulking beast would be sitting there. But you could surmise by the amount of food that's sitting on this one table, completely devoured, that there was either several people here or one very big person. So.
Well, I'm gonna pick up some of the remnants of food and eat it while I think about what to do next.
There's a few fish heads and whatnot that haven't been cleaned. There's a bit of bacon burned black and the odd scrap of potato.
I'm gonna suck out the fish eyeballs while I think.
You go. Okay, Geen, you've seen Runt head around the corner at this point.
Okay. Do I see a Minotaur around?
No. Back at the table, while all this is happening. So what do you say? What do you say? 100 gold? 2 weeks silence. Seems pretty fair to me.
I would say 60 for 2 weeks of silence, since if we were doing the original round, 30 gold a week for 2 weeks, 60.
He turns to you, Rogar, and he says, "You understand, sir, that Dragonborn are under a bit more suspicion in this part of the world than perhaps when we first met. And since you've ruined my livelihood, sir, I would not hesitate for a moment, right, to point the finger at you, given your proximity to everything that's happened on the north shores of the Moonsea. So I don't think you're in a real bargaining position here." He turns back to you, Kane.
I'm gonna look over to Rogar. Rogar, I swear, I remember that day when we left the jail from saving it from that Minotaur. Someone thanked us for killing that Minotaur. I think one of the people who owned it, the live one. I look over to Bevik.
I remember that day, and I'm the murder witness. So there. The Grimshackle brothers owned that jail for many years. We're honored and respected. He puts his head up. You think your word would hold up against mine? And I'd remind you that you're in a town that has no love for Waterdeep, has no love for many people, and I would say that my master is now quite welcome here. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go have a shave. You wanted to say something, Dragonborn?
Produce your master.
Well, I can't. For the first time, he looks a little bit nervous. He's not here, but he'll be back any moment. I can go get him if you'd like, but I'll tell you what, before I do, I will give you, well, let's say as long as it takes me to have a little shave. And I will see you soon. And so with this, he turns on his heel. Runt, I want you to just quickly roll one more deception for me.
Okay.
Not you, Siri. Go away. Okay. 17.
So Runt, you've moved now. I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where are you? Where do we find you?
I am hiding near the door with my eyes peeled for this halfling coming out.
Okay, so you're near the main door, not the side door, and if there's a plant or a table there, you're you're obscuring
Mhm.
yourself behind it.
Or like behind people, whatever I got to do.
Yep. So he does not notice you as he storms out of the door, off the boardwalk, across the street, dodging a few horses, up the other boardwalk, onto the stair, and into the barbershop of Bilcor.
Okay.
Do we notice where Geen is standing?
Do you try to notice where Geen is standing? If you do, if you
If
may
we
have
had
noticed,
a moment to say
Sure.
where everyone was ultimately going to be.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna take a look around for Runt.
So so they're looking for you now, and are you trying to be hidden at this point, Geen and Runt?
If Barrick's gone, then I would have stepped down and gone up to where Kane and Rogar are.
So Geen is striding towards the table now, and you see her quite plainly. And Runt?
I was trying to hide from everyone following this guy out,
Okay.
and I'm waiting outside the barbershop looking in to see if I can find a moment.
Okay, awesome. So
Sweeney Todd.
There you see Geen. You do not see Runt. You did see the man, the Grimshackle brother in mourning head across the street.
Okay. I'm going. If Geen comes over by the
Yep.
table, I'm gonna ask Geen. Hey, so good news. We might talk with the Minotaur. I think that's good.
Okay.
Also, you can't be seen by Vebek. I said that you died in a ship crash. Then now it's just me and Rogar. So, just a heads up. Also, where's Runt?
Last I saw her, she was chewing on some fish bones in the dining area. I'm gonna step around and see if I see Runt still chewing on those bones.
Yeah, Runt, where would you be hiding across the street? Let's say that there's some water troughs for the horses. There's some ties for wagons and horses. There are doors on either side. Are you obscured just from people inside the barbershop itself, or are you listening at the door? Or where would you be?
Well, listening at the door is a little bit too obvious for anyone that's walking by that I'm probably not supposed to be there.
Okay.
So I want to look as casual as possible.
Picking your teeth with your bow.
Yep.
Okay, so you are looking casual, but not in hiding. So, Geen, right away you see that she's standing across the door, across the road.
Oh, I was looking in the pub dining area. I wasn't looking outside.
Oh, sorry. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But I
Because
think
last I saw her,
if you were to
she
pass
was
the
chewing
front,
on the bones.
sure. If you were to pass the front door, going to look for her, you could quite easily see with your perception that she's across. Your past perception that she's standing across the door, or across the road.
Oh, okay.
In fact, any of you, because she's not hidden, if you take a moment to regard the barbershop, you'll see her standing just off to the side of the entrance.
You said this Minotaur was here, right, Kane?
Yeah. Yes, he was here. He was talking to Vebek. What are you planning on doing, Rogar?
Going to see if I can find him myself. And I'll get up and go around to where the table was that he would have been sitting at.
Sure. You storm down to that side of the table and you look down. You don't see dishes or anything on that table anymore now, having been cleared. You see somebody cleaning a table.
Okay.
You see an open saloon door at the far end, one heading into the inn for the kitchens, the other heading outside to a side street.
Is it a young boy cleaning the tables?
It's a young woman.
Okay, young woman. Excuse me, young woman. There was a Minotaur who sat at this table.
Oh, don't remind me. I don't mind serving beef, but I don't like serving beef. And she seems a little bit uneasy. She said, he left quite a while ago, maybe a half an hour ago.
Where did he go?
Oh, well, he went out onto the street. We've seen him in here before. I know that he has a boat. He's one of those people that hangs out with San Krulik. So, yeah. They come in here now and again.
That name. There were caravans earlier that were heading toward their camp.
Yes. Yeah,
Do you
that's-
happen to know where that is?
Oh, no one knows where their camps are. They have several of them. But we see them heading down that road or use our port. My understanding is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it would be somewhere between him and Harrowdale, I think. But again, it's a secret, and I don't know it. They're not bad people. They protect us from the town now and again. They were once soldiers, right? So I've seen worse. She takes the dishes. Is there anything else I can do for you?
And you say he went out the front door.
No, he went out that door there. Front door is a little crowded for him. He doesn't like to be stared at.
The saloon doors.
The back door, yeah, the side door.
Back doors.
Right there.
Thank you.
You're welcome. She turns on her heel, finishing her work, dusting off the last of the table, straightening it up, and then moving to another table of patrons and seeing if they needed anything.
Question. Did I see Barrick go outside and head to the barber?
Bevik? Yeah, you saw Bevik. Yeah, you saw Bevik. He passed your corner. He didn't notice you. He strode confidently across and into the door of the barber.
And I saw Runt
You see Runt standing there. Yep.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to Kane and
Sure.
try to distract him because I don't want him to see Runt.
Okay.
I'm just gonna talk to Kane.
Now Kane can see the front of the I'm just gonna, you know what I want to do just really quickly. Well, we'll say he hasn't looked up just yet. Okay, or he hasn't bothered to look carefully. So you are, as he's starting to regard the area around him, you come up to Kane.
Okay.
Oh, Geen, have you seen Runt yet?
She got out of my view, but I'm sure she's finding her way to Rogar. So, are you going to pay Bevik? What's?
I'm hoping to find a conclusion that doesn't lessen our pockets in a sense. But if we do have to pay him off, then we have to pay him off.
Okay. Are you going to go with Rogar to find that Minotaur?
I feel like Rogar is just gonna go scouting.
Okay.
You sure you haven't seen Runt? I don't want Runt running around with the Minotaur that's vengeance seeking.
That's true. But she is very good at hiding. But knowing her, she probably went off to where Rogar is. Why don't we just go find Rogar?
Is
and
Rogar
just-
still in the tavern?
Yeah, I just went around the corner.
Oh, okay.
Coming back after a moment, I'll hold up clawed hands and shake my head and say, "There is no Minotaur here. He leaves out the back door."
Runt,
So,
Yes.
sorry, I just want to clarify as we hear the rest of this. You're still standing. Are you trying to listen in to the?
No, I'm waiting for.
Got
He said a shave, so I'm waiting for him to be back in the chair, not watching the door, so I can go
Sure.
in.
Sounds good. Sorry, Keen. Pardon me.
oh, that's okay.
I look over to Rogar, look down at his side, don't see Runt. Geen, Runt's not with. Oh Christ.
Well, she did mention about having a drink. Maybe she went around the bar.
I see the bar clearly. Runt's not there.
Did you check behind the bar?
I think.
Knowing her, she'd probably want to sneak a drink.
Go ahead and roll competing deception perception.
Wait, insight against deception, right?
Yes.
Sure. Please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Fix me.
15.
Damn it, 14.
This is fishy. You're like,
Look, Geen, I'm from Waterdeep. I can sense a liar when I see a liar. Now, where's Runt?
Where do you think she is?
Oh no.
You look out the window.
I'm
I'm
gonna
go-
pull Kane if he's heading towards the door. I'm gonna hold onto his arm.
Well, I'm just saying you can turn your body like this and look out the window if you'd like.
That's fine, but if he's heading out the door, I don't want him to
Okay,
go out
fair
to
enough.
the far bit.
I am heading out the door.
No, I'm holding him.
Are you grabbing my arm?
I am.
Okay. If you grab it in my hand, I slip out of the gauntlet
Mother.
and I walk out the door.
A monk.
I'll,
A monk. If you want to grapple him.
I don't want to cause too much tension.
Okay.
So actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna follow Kane.
Okay.
And
Holding his gauntlet.
holding his gauntlet.
Yep.
I'm gonna
Rogar,
try
you
to
see the two of them heading out the door. Yep.
I'm gonna try to get in front of Kane and like put my hand on his shoulders.
Okay.
Do I get in front of him?
Sure.
I'm gonna kiss him.
Boom.
I kiss him right on the mouth.
Let's remind everybody who's watching. Kane's age is.
Give me 20.
20,
I'm what 22? I think I was 22, 23.
22.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when we
But I'm
look at-
short. I'm
I think I'm
5'2".
the
No,
one
I
who's the most
understand that.
embarrassed, though.
That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah,
what-
color
what would-
color rises to Rogar's cheeks.
Sure. Kane, you've got this exotic Kozakuran now straining up, raising a leg and giving you a kiss on the mouth. What's your reaction?
Kansas is gonna stand there and then say, I know you did that to stop me. And I go,
Oh, no, my idea was to just keep kissing him until like he tries to get away.
All right. You know what? I think that deserves. I'm gonna go ahead and let you roll what would we do here?
It's a
Charisma?
kiss off.
Kiss off.
Can I
You
roll
know,
a Constitution?
You
check?
roll Constitution. Constitution on Charisma. Let's do it real quick.
A saving throw? Or, yeah, I guess just Constitution.
Constitution saving through against your Charisma check.
Oh,
Would that be good?
cool.
Okay. My charisma's not that great
It
though.
should be a performance.
It was a
She's
one.
performing.
Performance if you want it.
I'm gonna
I
use
am
my beam power.
Oh, hang on.
Power.
Well, let's see what you
Oh.
roll first.
It was a
What's-
1.
There's one.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna take inspiration right away.
I'm taking inspiration.
Go into the
Alright.
bean.
So what is inspiration?
Inspiration used against each
Okay.
other.
So
is
so,
the
so
first.
so do I just re-roll or do I add a D4?
Go on, but let's first hear what Geen's
Oh,
base
okay.
roll is.
I haven't rolled yet because I was waiting on what he was doing.
Sure.
Beam power.
Mine's 18.
That's with the -1.
Yeah, with the -1, I rolled a
Cool.
19.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, so that means I have to roll 20 or meet it and beat it. 6.
You are momentarily
Uh,
mesmerized with the kiss of this young woman. Oh, and the romantic music builds
nice.
in everyone's heart. Rogar, what are you thinking when you see this?
That I have absolutely no idea which end is up and what has happened with the world.
The 6-year-old dragonborn is absolutely confused with what's
Just
happening.
completely gobsmacked. Yeah.
Runt, you're trying to look nonchalant. Are you still eyes on the door at this point?
Well, I'm trying to look in to see if there's any point where he is not watching the door, like back about to get a shave, because that's
He
when
is in
make it
fact
right.
back on a barber's chair, and his face is now covered in a towel, a hot towel.
Okay. I want to go in, and when I go in, I've got one of the bone daggers out, and I'm gonna look at the gnome dude and be like,
Well, before you're able to get a word out, the gnome dude will
freeze.
intimidation. Is that what we're gonna roll?
Sure.
Yeah.
What would this be? God.
Yeah, that's sure.
I
Help
would
me
say
out.
intimidation. I
Yeah.
would say because
That sounds right.
dagger, persuasion, but with strength.
Where is my intimidation? Is it on here? Oh, there it is.
Oh,
Okay.
Such
Doesn't
a
matter.
power move, I swear.
he nat one. So
Ooh.
he's just like he's absolutely frozen.
I want
He's
him to.
not saying anything.
I
He's
want him to-
frozen, hands on this.
I want him
on
to
this
back
person's-
away, and, I want to
and
take his
there's
spot.
Now we're into heartbeats.
Okay. I want to take his spot behind the dude. That's
So you
back in the
slowly
chair.
push this guy to the side, and he lets go. All right.
I
You're
wanna-
standing on the stool that he was standing on, and you were looking down at him, and you can put your hands on his face if you'd like.
Oh, I'd like to put my bone dagger like pointing into his not stabbing him. I just want to poke it in to get his attention and then
Hey.
see if he jerks or anything.
Sure. So as you lift up the towel and you place the dagger there. What's the meaning of this, you little whelp? Your razor doesn't feel sharp enough.
I want
And
to
his
rip
face
off
is
the
covered
towel.
You,
Hey, stupid face! Remember my face, stupid face?
you little twerp. You don't know who you're dealing with. And your friend lied to me.
Yeah,
There were
that's
3
right.
of you. Are there 5 of you?
That's right.
it.
You're stupid. You don't know nothing.
You
Okay.
don't know
This
nothing.
is what's gonna happen.
I'll tell you what's gonna happen.
I'm going to warn you one time. If you don't leave town immediately, the next time I find you, I'm going to drain the blood out of your stupid face. Do you understand me?
You took my brother from me. Remember that? You took our prison from us. You
I'm
remember
going
that?
to count to 3.
This Minotaur will kill me. You remember that?
Do you want the Minotaur to kill you later, or do you want me to kill you now?
He's thinking for a minute. Intimidation on the halfling, please.
Oh, I got lucky with that one the gnome rolled. 13.
Screw you.
Hmm.
Okay.
You and your friends. My price has just doubled. You want my silence? 200. Pause for a moment. Striding down the boardwalk on the opposite side of the street, you can see the hulking mass of a Minotaur heading towards the barber shop. You can hear a booming voice. Bevan! Bevan, you little twerp, where are you? We have to get going.
Do I hear this?
You hear this.
I'm killing him.
All right.
Wait, does this Minotaur yelling break me out of the kiss?
Well, if I heard the
Trance.
if I heard the Minotaur, I would have stopped kissing Kane
Yes.
and kind of
We'll
like
say that you were-
where that's going or where that's coming from.
Oh yeah.
So
So
is-
you
is-
see him heading down. He's 2 blocks down. You can hear him calling as he's moving up the street. He is 2 blocks down, heading towards you on the other side of the street. So you're on the hotel side of the street. He's on the barbershop side of the street, but he still is 2 blocks down, yelling for Bevan.
Okay. Then. So we're not in the middle. We're on the side.
Yes, and it's
Okay.
just from a temporal perspective, Ron, you've just headed into the thing. The seconds are passing now, right?
Okay.
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 So Geen, you are at the opposing side of the street.
Mm-hmm. If once he gets closer towards where the barber shop is, if I'm still do I still have Kane in my grasp?
Sure, but we'll say that you're essentially shoulder to shoulder, both looking down the street at this yelling Hulk.
Okay.
Rogar,
Well,
you
I-
hear this clearly too.
Well, if Rogar or Kane's not gonna do anything, as soon as he gets closer, I'm gonna push Kane down onto the ground, throw his gauntlet at him, and say, "How dare you!"
You see that everybody starts to sort of laugh, and some people start to laugh, and a group of passersby start to sort of gather, and there's some sailor types that are like, "You better watch out, buddy," like this. and you
I
can
feel
see
so
that
bad for Rogar.
This has been a long day. This has been a series of emotions I didn't.
And
expect to
Rogar, you
feel
are
today.
there now. I mean, you're right. You're standing there among this throng that quickly sort of all stop. People with parcels and people heading down to the dock. The Minotaur kind of turns around to regard this little street. You see his huge horns sort of swing, and remember
Yeah.
that they are
Who-
massive, right? Minotaurs are
My hood has fallen off at this point since I've been
My
knocked to the ground.
my aim was to get Kane onto the ground,
Yeah.
at least in his path, somewhat of in his path.
in the Minotaur's path.
Yeah.
Sure. So you toss him out into the middle of the street. He sees you toss this bewildered smooch boy, and and he looks at you, and he sort of comes over, and he kind of snorts, and he goes, "You tell him," like this kind of thing. Now, have you seen a little halfling?
Kane puts on his gauntlet.
He looks down at you, and he goes, "Waterdeep, eh? You're a long way from home."
Yes, I am. And I.
Have the two of you seen a little halfling?
We might not have
Halfling.
seen a halfling, but we've definitely seen a dragonborn.
Oh.
Dragonborn. Yeah. Don't get too many of you up here. Have you seen a halfling? I need you to roll initiative, everybody.
Oh god.
Oh God.
Call it out when you have it, please.
3.
13.
18.
I've been getting good initiatives now.
Sorry, 3 Kane,
Mm-hmm.
13
13 Geen.
Geen. Rogar?
18.
18. Runt.
6.
Okay, just based on that, because all of this is happening at once. The moment that and you were going to go through with this strike, I take it.
As soon
Yes.
as I heard that Minotaur.
As soon as you heard the Minotaur.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The blade slides up. How far does it go?
Until he. Well, is he making noise when I do it?
Yeah, he'll. You've got him prone, and you have the advantage. So go ahead and roll damage, please.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
I'm going to treat it the same as a.
Doesn't one of the
Backstab.
daggers rob them of their boys?
Oh.
It can if it's cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, is that? Oh, I got the daggers now. Oh no.
8.
You need to check your spear as well. Your
Oh,
javelin.
yeah, I got it. Javelin
Okay.
of lightning.
He twists his head quickly as you strike. He is incredibly bloodied, but managed to twist out of the chair. He is not grabbing for a weapon. He's seeking to evade and head out the door. But what he uses for his action is simply to shout, "Ah!" and try to make for the door. As he does, Bill Corin, the barber, leaps up and jams a wad of hot towel in his mouth, and isn't able to so much bowl him over as push him down onto the floor, and now is on top of him, squirming. Okay, holding his hands over top of this wad. "Do what you're gonna do! Do it quickly!" he says to you. Rogar, outside, you see the Minotaur look up quickly at the side of this and goes, "Where is that person? Where is that damn Bevik?" And he says, "If you see him, you tell him I'm looking for him. And you tell him he better meet me at the camp." And with that, you see him strove over to the inn. He goes in quickly, comes out with a large pack, and then, much like a cow or a bull on 2 feet, begins to gallop essentially down on 2 feet using his cloven hooves, begins to sprint down the road in the direction that the wagons went.
Okay.
Okay.
By the way, he rolled.
Yeah.
He didn't. He didn't
That
pick
was-
it up.
All right.
Okay.
Is this? Are we doing initiative order in terms of what we want to do, or?
No, initiative order was depending on what was about to happen, but given the roll from Bill Corn and Bevik is now alive, choking on a towel. You can go ahead and tell me what you're going to do. I will say that Geen and Rogar, you are able to act next before Runt takes her next turn.
Okay, I don't want to make a huge commotion rushing into this barbershop after throwing Kane down onto the ground. So I'm just gonna kick dirt in Kane's face and say, if you ever do that again, I'm gonna pull out my sword. Your neck is mine. And I'm gonna go back into the inn.
I didn't know you had a twin.
Okay. All right, Rogar, you're standing in front of the... Geen is turned on her heel and is heading back to the inn. Rogar, you are standing in front of the barbershop. Kane, you are still knowledgeable that Runt is in said barbershop. Rogar, I'm not sure how much you would know. You can make...
No, nothing.
Knowing that-
got
Knowing that
away
Geen
with-
is probably going to make a fast move towards that barbershop, most likely. Kane is
I'm
going
not.
to.
I'm heading
Kane
into the inn.
can
Oh.
say the move is Rogar's. So I'll,
Oh.
I'll say the chatting and the talking is a free action, but the
lean over and help him up and say, "That's enough. That's enough. Everybody, break it up.
okay.
Nothing else to see here."
Rogar using his action to pick up Kane. We turn back to you. Runt.
Oh, okay. I wanna look at the gnome and say,
And I will also say you saw the. I mean, I am going to say that you saw through the window, the horned figure pull up, talk, and now has gone down the street. Okay, so you have that knowledge. All right.
okay.
And pardon
Okay.
me, I interrupted you. What?
No, you're fine. I'm just trying to make it as I'm gonna try to go with what Runt would do. She's gonna tell the gnome,
Hey, you're not so bad after all.
and then she wants to put her boot on the back of the halfling's head and stick the bone dagger through the back of his neck.
Okay. You can go ahead and give me a quick roll.
Okay. That is 8.
He wrenches free at the last
Use
moment as your
inspiration.
bone. Yes. The
Oh,
roll is
okay.
not sufficient unless you'd like to use your inspiration.
Okay. And I would like to use my inspiration.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, am I just rolling damage or an attack?
Attack, please.
Oh, an attack. Okay. Well, that
He's-
changes things.
He's prone, so.
Okay. And since this can use that.
So you would have. Pardon me. Whoa! Before you use your inspiration, he's prone, so you have advantage. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Do we all
So-
concur? Is
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's a melee attack. Yeah.
Yeah, it's melee. 20.
And you do have a two-handed attack. First, 1, 2. Yeah.
Yeah, 20. 25.
It buries itself wherever in his. Why don't you just go ahead and describe exactly what happens?
She wants to put her boot on the back of his head and then just take the bone dagger and right through the back of his neck.
And it carves cleanly into the back of his neck. And for a moment, you feel the surge of power run through your arm.
And I want to tell the gnome,
So sorry about this mess. There's gonna be lots of blood. I can help you clean it up.
It's okay. You go out to your friends. I think I know what to do.
Okay, and it's
There
not tell anybody, right? That's not what you're going to do, right? You're not going to tell anybody about it.
You don't have to worry about that.
Because we're friends now, yeah?
We's friends.
Okay.
You go ahead and I can tell that this guy wasn't really nice. I got a nose for these things.
No, yeah, he's
there's-
awful.
There was a murder in the town last night. When I
Yes.
saw you yesterday, there was a murder the night before. There
Oh,
was
that's
another last night.
right.
I know, but this won't be out of sorts. Let me take him. Oh, I can't.
Okay.
Can I pick him up? And so the gnome attempts to drag the body, and begins to pull at the
Run's
thing.
gonna.
But actually, surprisingly, given that he seems ultra motivated, he's able to drag the body. He puts some towels and whatnot down. He's able to drag the bloodstain away as he pulls it back using one
Runt
of
wants
his.
to pull out a gold
Yes.
coin and look at him and say,
Hey, girl.
and flick it to him and say,
Buy yourself something nice, okay?
Yes, and he catches it and he pockets it, and you see him quickly clean up the blood at the front. He uses some of the barbasol from his combs, and he he says, "I'll take care of this right away." And he pulls it into the back and goes back through the what appear to be his living quarters, and you can hear a door in behind that open up. Could be a cellar door or something along these lines, and this is where we are when Rogar, you and Kane, it's your move at this point. So,
Is there still eyes focused on Kane, or is everybody going about their business?
everybody's going about their business. They're amused. They're frankly, I mean, Dragonborns are special. Minotaurs, even though they may have seen it, are imposing, and you know, everybody regarded the Roadrunner like dust trail as it headed outside of the town. And you now are there in front of the barber shop. People are watching you. It's not like they're not. You can see the odd sort of little whisper and whatnot. You also see town's guardsmen, known as the Sorrow's Vanguard, are beginning to sort of, they're patrolling and whatnot. And
Kane's going to put away his pendant really quickly.
but what do you do?
Kane
This
is
is what
going
you
to
see.
Kane is going to rotor stace and then go inside the barbershop.
When you head inside the barbershop, you see that Runt is standing there.
Hacken, you're going to be so excited, okay? Alright. Where's everybody else? I have big news.
Do I smell like copper or blood? Something to tell.
You can roll. Help me out here. Insight?
Perception?
No. Perception. Thank
yeah.
you. Jeez, it's one of those
18.
nights. 18. You look around. You can see that there is fresh water on the thing, and the telltale smell of copper and shaving cream in the air.
Runt,
Yes,
let's get this straight right now.
yes.
Rogar, have you followed him in, by the way? Because he's moving.
I was opening my mouth to say something to him, but he walked past me. So yeah, I'll
Sorry.
follow him in.
So, yeah, so it is Kane and Rogar in the barbershop. Geen, are you
I'm
seeing
in
them
the
go in?
end.
Are you seeing them go in across the street?
As I walked past Rogar, I would have eyed him and see what he did. And yeah, I'll just kind of do a quick glance over
Okay,
my
your
shoulder,
move-
but I'm still walking in.
Sounds good. So you see the two of them head into the barbershop. Please, pardon me. Rogar and Kane.
Runt, we're going to get something straight right now.
Yes.
No more senseless killing.
I have
As-
no idea what you're talking about.
Bilk?
Coming!
I'm going to look for from where he's coming out of.
You can just hear a muffled voice through several layers of timber.
Rogar, talk to Runt. I'm going to check on Bilk, and I go straight for Bilk.
No,
If I
Bill's
can.
okay. I didn't hurt Bill. Bill's a good guy. I like him.
He says, well, that just proved it, and I go straight for Bilk.
When you go through the back doors, you don't see anything immediately. There's no towels. There's nothing else. Any blood that was there is none. The streak ends and it's relatively clean. Bilk is coming down from the meager upper floor. Already, he is wearing traveling clothes and has a backpack on and a small rapier and a walking stick, and he says, I told you I have a nose for bad people, yes? He says,
Yeah.
well, what I can tell you is bad things are coming for us if we stay here, and I'm happy to have helped you guys out, but it's time for me to move on as well. I don't feel safe in this town. There were murders last night, but I know you came through the Strand, and you couldn't have been the murderers from before, so I have a good feeling about you, but we need to get out of here, and this place is not safe for us.
Make sure you're safe, alright, Bilk? Worry about yourself for now.
The road's a dangerous place, he says, but okay.
If you want to travel with us, you can, but it may just be more dangerous if you're with us.
I'll think about it.
Good.
Rogar?
Take a knee in front of Runt to be at her level. What happened?
It was wonderful. Okay, so I came in here and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to get shaved. I'm going to be so handsome." Blah blah blah. And then I sneak in, right? And I say, "Hey, Gnome, shut up! Don't say nothing. I'll stab you." And he backs up, right? And then I get behind the halfling and I say, "Hey, stupid face!" And he's like, "Oh, you little blah blah blah." And then I tell him, "Hey, you need to leave, okay? This is your chance. Leave and leave us alone, okay?" And he was like, "No, screw you." That's what he said. He said it to me. He said, "Screw you." And then he jumps up and he starts like he's yelling for his friend. And then the gnome, that's how I know the gnome's a good guy. The gnome tackles him. And I was like, "Hey, he's our friend, cool." And then I killed the halfling. So we don't have to worry anymore. We don't have to worry about anybody knowing, because there's no, 15 gold for murder witness. But now there's no murder witness, so no 15 gold. So,
No, but there are guardsmen right out front, and you've broken the law.
well, they don't know. So, I mean, you can thank me anytime now, please.
So, Geen, milling around the outside of this establishment and eating their breakfast, you can see several of these guardsmen are coming in. They're checking in, and the innkeeper begins talking to one of them and says, "Commodore Warthollow came in here, and he's looking for that little halfling of his. He says if we see him, we're supposed to send him on to the camp. He says the halfling should know where to be found at the crossroads. He must hurry, and we're supposed to provide him with a pony. He gave me the note and he took off from here. But if you see him, you better tell that halfling to shake his leg, because they're going to be waiting for him." And the guardsmen say, "Sure thing," and they head out. And you can see them, Geen, if you're watching, you can see them actually relay this message quickly, and people are kind of looking out, and they're obviously actually quite motivated to find this guy, whether or not they have a boring existence and simply have something to do now, or if they have some sort of loyalty to the Grey Patriots. You're not sure, but you do see them relaying this message, and the dozen or so of the half dozen or so of these guards folk, and then some other people that look like merchants and whatnot, are all being informed as they move up and down the boardwalk. You can see one of them cross the street and begin to poke his head into each one of the stores on the boardwalk. What you assume to be looking for the halfling, right?
I want to, if I see them going through each of the businesses, I'm gonna go up to whoever was giving that message to
Sure. The innkeep. Yep. Who was giving the message to the innkeeper?
Yeah, like
Sorry,
because I
that-
felt like he was maybe the main guy, or
Pardon me. Ward Hollow dodged into the inn, gathered his things, gave a message to the innkeeper, and then took off. So it was actually Ward Hollow that delivered the message himself to the innkeeper. The innkeeper is now relaying that to the vanguard.
oh, okay. Then if I notice them going through each of the businesses, I'll go up to one of the vanguard.
Yep. Okay. Well, you were able to intercept one. Is it on your side of the street or the other side of the street?
On my side of the street.
Sure. You're able to reach one handily. He's right there.
Excuse me, are you looking for a short man?
You've seen him?
I heard him, I think, say he was going to go shopping for some. This, and I point to my sword because I'm pretending I don't know
Sure.
what
The
word is
blacksmiths.
in
Sure.
English, in
Sure.
common.
Burga! You hear the guard you're talking to. Burga! Brady! This way! He's down at Safton's. And you can see the two of them come off the boardwalk and start to move down the street as the three of them begin to head down towards where you had purchased your arrows at the Fletchers and the blacksmith was next door. And so they are now at a jog heading down the main street.
Okay.
You can see you can hear some indescript yelling and some other guardsmen joining them as they're moving down that way. Okay, what do you do then?
If it looks like everyone's going back to their own business and not really paying attention anymore, I'm just gonna kind of try and casually and slowly make my way into the barber shop.
And you do, and when you're there, you see Runt on next to Rogar, who's on a knee. They just finished having a conversation, and Kane, you're coming out from the back room, and
I'll look up at Kane. What does Kane's face say? Just his face, the look on it.
Kane's face is saying disappointment.
As soon as I'm walking in, I'm gonna say, Vanguard are looking for Bevik.
Well,
Keen, Rogar and Keen have not said thank you to me.
Why? Thank you for what?
I killed the halfling.
Oh,
Yeah. See? So I'll wait. Go ahead, tell me.
I'll kneel down to Runt and I'll give her a hug and say, thank you, Runt, and pat her on the back.
When she's giving me that hug, I want to be glaring at these two, like.
Rogar, what does he see on your face? Pardon me. What does she see on your face? This young little 15,
14.
Yeah, like 14. I think.
14-year-old blonde waif urchin is looking at you.
For the very first time since we've met, disappointment.
Keen, thank you so much for understanding. Yes, we're good friends now. Yes.
Kane, you see this scene.
yeah, Kane's gonna look over to Geen and say, "You're thanking her. We're suspects now. They're gonna look at us and they're gonna think, hey, you know what? Those murders have been happening in the town for a while now. I wonder who did that. I wonder who was at the barber at the time. Probably wasn't the halfling.
No, it was the halfling that suddenly disappeared from town. See?
You are not blaming
even...
this. You are not blaming this on him. This is
Not-
your fault,
not
and we're
the
gonna have to
name.
clean it up."
Not the name. I'm blaming it on the halfling that I just killed. So now we can say
He was just a man looking for money.
murders, and now the halfling's gone, so he probably did the murders, and then he ran out of town. He fled.
Do you know where he was going?
It's too dangerous for him here. I offered him to stay with the. I offered him for him to travel with us based on how things are going so far. I told him it would probably be more dangerous for him to come with us than would be him by himself.
I've made up my mind, and for the first time, you see at Kane's elbow, Bilcorn, standing there, dressed for the road. He says, with all the latest murders, with you three Well, one of you a dragonborn, one of you from the east. And with how much the Vanguard has been looking through the homes and looking for this murder, I've hid the body. I can't guarantee it'll stay hid. I guess as long as they don't come here looking for him. But they're very thorough. And I think we should go. Please.
I know this might sound very bad, but what if we just burnt this place down? Maybe there was an accident and a fire broke out.
I love that this was not Run's idea.
It's attached to the tenements.
I don't want my name associated with murder.
Exactly.
Well,
So-
think about it. If no, think about it. If Bilk, you get out of town quickly without being seen, this place accidentally burns down, and they do see bones and a body. He's small like Bilk. Maybe they thought that he died.
It's
In
a
this fire.
It's a hospital next door.
Okay, maybe not. But look, I heard that Minotaur mention to the inn staff where he wants to meet Bevik. So Rogar, if you want to meet him, you can go there. But to be honest, I agree with Runt. He's gone. The Minotaur, he's away. We can do whatever we want to do.
The Minotaur, the Grey Cloak, Commodore, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, he comes in here to have his hooves cleaned every once in a while, dressed up.
Ah, that's perfect. So now we set up another trap, and this time I can stab at the Minotaur when he
No.
gets in his hooves back.
Well, if he's
But
left town,
he's going to be waiting Runt for Bevik at the
Oh.
crossroads
Okay.
tonight. So
well, they're part of that caravan that left this morning, right? So he'll catch up to them. A fast horse would catch them. But we have to go.
I already told the Vanguard that they would be looking for Bevik at the blacksmith, and if they don't see him there, they're gonna keep looking. So
If they don't see him there, they're gonna come looking for you.
Oh. So.
Bilk, what's the quickest way out of town following that path?
My back door. We go out the side street. We take the east road, the east alley. We can get to the edge of the town and be in the woods in minutes. The main road is there. We can do this on foot, or we can go in and the stables are on the way. We can talk to the farrier at the end of the road and buy mounts if we need to.
We're not done with this.
We've got to take care of the body first. If we leave, they'll and they know that there was a murderer loose and it was Bilk. They'll send out word to every other town. You
That's
won't be safe.
That's a good point. Okay, can we carry the body with us?
How big is our backpacks?
do we have anything to wrap him up in? Like bedrolls or something?
We got a bedroll.
I have something here, and he goes in the back and he comes out, and he says, it's what my lady uses to carry the linens in when I send in the laundry. It's this large sort of canvas that can be tied shut. He says we could use this. There's also an old chest downstairs that we could use a kind of crate, I guess.
Bilk, is there a way for you to maybe make a sign and put on the door saying you went to visit an ailing family member and you're closed? Do you think they would believe that and not come into your
Well, I've only been
business?
here for a few weeks, so I can't see why not. I don't really want this chasing my name. But sure, I can draw them off, I guess. And he goes to the door and he flips over the sign from open to closed. And he says, "They'll just think that I'm out picking shells."
Is there
we-
a way to carry the body? Are there horses? Is there something we could
So he leads you down to the back room, and he pulls on a floor, moves a chair, pulls on a rope that's sort of tucked on the floor, and opens a trap door into the cellar. He says he's down there, and you can tell me who would like to take a look.
I'll go look.
When you head down to the bottom of the stairs, you can see that he was hastily tumbled down the floor, and there's a bundle of cloth at the bottom of the floor with one arm kind of hanging out. You can see clearly that down here it's dusty. There's some empty wine bottles, a few boards and things. It doesn't look like it's being really actively used as a cellar. And indeed, over in the corner, there's an open crate and lid with its binding next to it. Perhaps some supplies were shipped in here at one point, whatever this store used to be.
Ian's gonna go down there with Geen.
Okay.
We could
And
put
once-
them in a barrel and carry it out like we're carrying supplies.
Maybe. That might be a good idea. Just next time, when you know that Runt might kill somebody, and we wouldn't be in this whole situation if you just let me go and stopped Runt, don't stop me. Because now we have an innocent man who might be mistaken as a killer, and now we're on the run again.
We'll take care of it, and I'll pat Kane's cheek, and I'll go back upstairs.
I'm gonna look for a barrel,
Yep.
or maybe
so,
a chest.
So you do see this crate, and you're able to pull it over to the body, and indeed, it looks like it's about the right size to. Whether or not it's ever held a halfling corpse before, you're unsure, but it can definitely accommodate one now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Call out to Kane downstairs. Make sure to stuff it with some cloth so that blood doesn't drip out of the crate.
Yeah, yes, I'll do that.
So as you go down there, Bill Corn joins you. He instructs. He actually instructs you. He says, "Now jam it in there, and look here." And he brings down a bushel of apples, and he pours these apples and a few onions and some potatoes on top of the corpse, so it appears as though the crate is full of fruit and vegetables. And he says, "Now let's lash it up tight. If anybody checks, as long as they don't dig through this, they're going to assume we're just packed for the road." We can tell them that we bought a bushel of stuff, a bushel of things for the road.
And just so I know for the future, you said there was murders in this town. I know we're getting out of this town. I'm not gonna be able to help out with that. But what have you heard about that?
Simply that there's murders. There's people that have been killed up and down the coast, and things are getting dangerous. I don't want to live in a place with bad people, and I am happy to go. I wasn't happy. 2 murders in 2 days, 3 now with this. No, far too rough. As I said, I know good people. You're good people. So let's be on our way.
Kane's gonna make an insight check just real quick, just
Sure.
to see if he's on the up and up.
Oh, go ahead.
17. That's a roll.
Yeah, he's on the up and up.
All right, I'll believe that. And once we get the crate packed up and ready to go, Kane will take it upstairs.
When I walk upstairs after Kane goes downstairs, I'll go up to Runt and Rogar and just say, if there are murders in this city, you could just say that Bevik was killed by that murderer. If you want to talk to that man.
That's fine with me, he says, but we got to get him out of my shop. I don't want this to follow my name. I'd rather them think me dead. I don't want to be chased around.
Runt at this point is in a chair with her back to Rogar, pouting, kind of glancing at him occasionally.
You start to hear a bit of a commotion down, and what you can see from the chair as you're glancing through the front windows, Runt, is a group of 3 of the Vanguard stopping people on the street and asking, and you see them first put their hand down low, motioning at a halfling size, and then putting their hand up a little bit higher, just about the size of Geen, and asking, obviously asking people which way did they go. And you can see that the first group of people that they talk to sort of stop and consider the information and shake their heads, and then they quickly go to another group of people on this crowded street, and they are actively inquiring about something. A person short and a little bit taller.
Okay. Can I hop down and turn to everyone and say,
Hey, we got to go now. Just no more dilly-dally with the body. We got to go. Let's go. We need to go. Back door this way? Let's go.
and start walking towards where I think the back door is?
Just describe what each one of you are doing as you see Runt and Bill Corn motioning you out, holding the door open. Kane, you're holding that chest.
Yeah.
It is fairly bulky for you.
I'm gonna look over to Rogar. Rogar, can you carry this?
Forlorn Dragonborn.
More along the lines of will, but yes, for now.
So
Thank
Rogar, in your face, we're seeing disappointment in Runt. We're seeing you stare at the floor, and we're seeing you regard this corpse in front of you.
Or the
And-
box with the corpse in it.
Yeah. And if everyone was to be insightful, they would see the emotion on your face is one of
Confusion,
okay.
like how we got here.
So you're lost, and you are letting others steer the way.
Right.
So, Runt, you are in the lead. You head out the door.
I'm going to throw my hat on and follow them out the door.
Hat on, veil over, and out the door. Kane.
Yep.
And Rogar.
One last look around the shop and out the door as well.
You manage to pick up a toppled stool, and out the door you go. That smell of bloody iron still hanging in the air slightly to your very sensitive nostrils. Out you go to the back alley. It's well lit. There's obviously it's the back alley. There are supplies and barrels and old crates and whatnot, waste bins and the odd cat. You are able to head down that alley, and the quick little gnome moves next to your side run and guides you to the farrier. He moves into the farrier's office. You can see him smiling and laughing, and he comes out and he says, "Our horses are over there," and he's fine. I've paid for them. Everything is just great. And he pulls you over to one of the paddocks. The horses are there. Indeed, they're actually saddled, and there is a small pony as well as these. So 2 ponies are required, and 2 horses and 1 draft large war horse for you, Rogar. So they seem to be well suited. The gate is swung open, and you are able to decide what you will do next.
Before getting on one of the horses, I'm going to slip Bilk 5 gold and just give him a smile.
Thank you. And he takes the gold and he pockets it.
I'll get on my horse.
And Runt is going to make a big showing of walking by Rogar and his horse and getting up on Yeen's horse.
Okay, so you're going to leave your horse vacant.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, do you want to have a hand on the horse's reins or leave it in the corral?
No, she doesn't like horses, so she
Okay.
prefers to ride with someone else.
All right. She is in behind you, Geen. You don't want the other horse?
She's a little wary riding horses on her own.
Okay, well, it would look strange if I didn't take it, so I am going to take it. And he asks you, Rogar, to lash the crate to the side of the horse, please. to the pony, actually.
Is it big enough to carry?
Yeah, it will be big enough to carry a halfling and a crate, so you can lash it fairly handily to the side of the saddle. Bilk will offer you the rein. He'll say, "Would you like to guide this one, or shall I?"
I'll take it.
Very good. Well, let's not waste any more time. And you can start to hear a bit more commotion in the street. In fact, at that point, you can start to hear that a bell is starting to sound in the town. And you're not sure if it's a school bell or what it is. But away from the town, now you're right on the town's edge, so you're able to head down the main thoroughfare. There are other wagons that you're passing. And indeed, you are able to reach the outer edges of the town. You're starting to get into some pastoral land as the bell fades in the background. And as you do, you can start to see that there's a group of vanguards on the road next to two wooden guard towers. They're checking wagons coming into the town, and you are beginning to approach them.
I'm going to slow my horse down and ride up next to Bilk and just say, how are we going to get through that?
This is a standard patrol. It's nothing new. They don't often check anyone out of the coming out of the town. They're more concerned about what's coming in. However, if we appear suspicious, they could well take a look. Perhaps I should head ahead and talk to them. I know these men.
Should we go in separately or as one big group?
That's good thinking. They may have seen us ride together already. I really don't know. Should we ask the others? If we talk to them, they're going to know we're together. Or should we just cut ahead?
If they've seen us together, maybe you could be guiding us out towards a road.
Sure, that's a good idea. I'll say that you are helping me deliver a load of shells, and we're taking a trip. I've got a pocket full of shells here. We'll say that we're taking them to my cousin. We're taking them to my cousin. Yes, we'll good enough. And he kicks his little pony and he starts the course forward. The other three, you see. Well, sorry, Kane and Rogar. You see this little pony skirt ahead, 30 or so meters, and he starts engaging the four guardsmen that are there in conversation. You can see them sort of motion. He motions to you, and he motions ahead, and he is still talking as you approach this. And Rogar, you can see one of them eyeing you very, very carefully as you are going by, quite suspiciously. Another is looking at you, Kane. Mm-hmm. They're less concerned about you, Geen, although when they do regard you, they are all intrigued by your outfit.
I'm just going to act very coyly and put my head down like I'm hiding my face.
Mm-hmm. In the middle of this, they're starting to get a little agitated, and Bilkorin is now behind them, and he says, fellas, let me tell you a little story here about my friends, because it's super interesting. And you can see him kind of motion you four past, and he says, you wouldn't believe, I found them on the beach. They were there, and man, they're nice. And he just starts sort of spinning this tale, and you can hardly keep up with what they're saying and what he's saying. And he starts bringing in stories of their friends and their family and everybody that he's met around them. And he says, "Oh yes, how's Jessica?" And he's talking, and it's his words are just flowing, and they are starting to chuckle and laugh, and their eyes are all on him. And at which point, if you continue to move, you will be several dozen yards down the track before he says, "Well, I have to go." And you can hear him. He says, "All of you have a fair day." And he hops on his horse and he begins to follow in behind you.
I was going to call out to him anyway and say we're losing daylight if he was going to keep talking.
All right. So with that in mind, they wave him through. They don't seem very concerned. They resume checking the wagons that are heading into the town, and you are able to see the crossroads in the distance after about an hour of travel. So you are coming up to this crossroads. There is an obvious split in the road. Obviously, there's a wood pillar there, and indeed you do reach it.
Is there anybody there?
No, there's no sign of a minotaur. There's no sign of a halfling on a pony. There's no sign of wagons.
I'm gonna make a perception check. This seems too quiet.
Sure. You could do a wisdom survival if you like.
Sure, I'll do a survival check.
I'll take a look around if he's going to do that.
15.
Sure.
Not too
Yep.
bad.
I also got a 15.
The wagon tracks there's several of them. There are a number of them, but you can see that the fork in the road that splits, and one of the signs says Elven Tree, and the other one heads still westerly, but it's heading farther south. And you are in the Cormanthor forest at this point. The sign that says the Harrow Ferry is pointing straight ahead. And while you can't tell through all the muck and mire and tracks, you can see not four, but just a single pair of oxen hooves that are heading down the more southerly route to Harrowdale.
Okay. Do they sound familiar to the sound of hooves for the Minotaur?
No sound, but you see them cut into the ground. And
Okay.
yeah, you're fairly sure. Great big oxen hooves heading forward. That'd be your wisdom check tells you that may not be where the wagons went, but that's where the Minotaur went.
I'm gonna look over to Rogar. Minotaur went that way, but we need to bring Bilk. We need to get him to safety.
would be rid of this
Harrowdale's
body.
good enough for me. He pipes up. Rogar.
I would be rid of this body.
Let's see, Harrowdale.
Harrowdale is where the Minotaur was heading.
Down this road, anyway, by the looks of it.
Do you want to go towards this Minotaur, Bilk? Do you feel safe doing that?
I feel safe enough in Harrowdale. If I need to go more southerly, I can get to the Sea of Fallen Stars easily enough on a ship there. All right, I might set up shop in Harrowdale. I don't know.
I'm sorry, Bilk, for uprooting you from your business. And
I've tried to
bringing you
live
all
around the
into this.
Moonsea. I've tried to live around the Moonsea for many years. I went to Hillsfar, and they don't like anybody who isn't human. And I went to Elven Tree, and it's hard to shave elves. Elmwood was rude, and then the murders started. At least I heard about them. So I tell you what, Harrowdale's fine for me. I just want to stick with you. Let's get this dealt with, and I'd rather be on the road with you four than by myself.
Do we want to rid of the body nearby here, or bring it with us to Harrowdale?
There's forest between here and the ferry. I know that. So
Is there any rivers along the way?
we have to cross the river. Do a thamper. It's a ferry, the Harrow Ferry, that we have to get across to Harrowdale. So we'll be riding all day till we can get to the ferry.
So why don't we just, when we're on the ferry, we just dump the stupid thing overboard?
As long as no one's watching.
I mean, we can be like, oh, look, our fruits and vegetables, they're old, but let's want them anymore. Boo. See,
So-
you believed me, and I was lying, so...
So here we are on the road. You are several hours now into your trip, and the dusk is beginning to set. The sun is beginning to set.
Runt would have been glancing at Rogar this entire
way?
time.
Sounds good.
Just like waiting to see what expression is on his face and if he's looking at her.
The road begins to head more easterly. You arrive at another trail that has another sign to Hillsfar and actually Ashabenford, heading in the opposite direction. Harrowdale is the road that you pull. You're able to pull off the road as the sun begins to set. You haven't reached the ferry yet. You can choose to travel through the night if you'd like, but Bilk informs you that the ferry won't be operating until morning anyway. So probably best not to try to camp where there may be other people and still be carrying this body. You are able to find a secluded glade if you wish to set up camp or sleep cold. So what would you be doing at this point as you now find yourself quite alone in the woods?
Should we set up camp here?
Sure.
Here's
Why
as
not?
good as any. We need the
You-
rest.
You start the fire, and it is quite the sun is set fairly early, and the trees are high, and so you're able to get to bed quite early, getting several hours sleep. The fire is crackling, and I'll just ask who is sleeping, who is up. Is everybody sleeping? Bilk finds his way to the fire, is quite content to pull out a sausage from his traveling pack and begin to cook it.
I thought
I'll be up.
we should take watch.
He begins to pass out a fairly austere meal to each of you, and with full bellies, who would be falling asleep?
Before going to bed, I want to see if I can sit next to Rogar and have a chat.
You are able to sit next to Rogar, and
The box is on the other side of the fire, and through the crackling of the flames, I'm looking at the box appear and disappear.
that's right. Yeah, you're looking at the box disappear and appear in the flames. Geen, what topic of conversation would you like to talk about as Kane and Runt are falling?
I take full responsibility for Runt's actions. I thought irrationally.
That's
I know
not
you're-
exactly how the gods see things.
I know you're disappointed in her, but she looks up to you. Don't hold it too much against her. She's just doing what she thought was best for us, to take care of us.
As you're contemplating the words that Geen has said, far off down the track in the direction of the ferry, you make out a telltale sound. You can hear the forest sounds happening around you. And you can hear the odd yip of a coyote or a fox or a wolf. Another sound carries on the wind. As you look up and you see the bright moon, you're reminded, and this sound is very, very clear. You've heard it before. The distant sound of a boar stalking its prey. Not loud enough to wake the others. But Geen and Rogar, you hear it quite plainly.
I'm gonna wake up Brent. I'm just gonna pat her. Up.
What?
You hear it more quietly now, as if heading away from you. But Runt, like your friends, you can hear that loud, terrible oink way off in the distance. There is certainly a large boar somewhere on the trail ahead. Kane remains asleep, and you can continue to talk through the night if you'd like.
Is
And
that
that
the
is where-
pig?
Sounds like him.
Bill Corn wakes up and says, sure, I'm glad to be with you guys. And then you see him pull his cloak around him and fall back asleep.
Runt wants to run over and jump on top of Kane and be like,
It's the pig! It's the pig!
What? Swing wildly.
And that is where we'll stop.
I quickly roll to attack to see if I accidentally deck run.
reflex save.
Unarmed attack.
Natural 20.
Okay.
She never saw it coming.
I'm gonna try to catch her.
Good old haymaker.
You've gotten around an extortion plot.
Hey,
That's nice. You seem to be on the trail of Commodore Ward Hollow, wherever he may be going. Somewhere on the road
so
ahead of
bad.
you could be a lot of, well, not to be too ham-fisted about it, but there could be large boars ahead. Hopefully,
Like me personally, I could not take Rogar's disappointment.
I know. That's why I was
like,
trying
oh,
to make it a
God.
little bit better by talking to him.
You have two lawful good characters in this party. That's the problem.
So there was a lot of trust tested. So let's keep that in mind as let's go around the table quickly and tell me, what did you like about your party members and the other players' performance? Maybe we'll use that Runt as a bit of an acid test. What did it tell me what it raised for your character to have the other character behave in a certain way? And what does it mean, do you think, for their relationship going forward?
I feel like Runt does not understand why everyone's mad at her begin. She solved a problem that they had, so she's a little hurt.
Okay.
I'm on Runt's side because I thought that was going to be a big problem, but seeing her relationship with Rogar kind of have those little breaks in there, Gein's heart is to want to try to fix it.
Okay. Good.
The city life we had back in Baldur's Gate was tested many times by street toughs and thugs, and I saw her have to do all sorts of things to survive and relate all of the things that she had to do to survive. But those were stories. That wasn't actually like
Witnessing it.
here, visceral. Yeah, even if I didn't see it, I still am seeing it right now. I mean, it's on the other side of the campfire, and just like everything else, it begins to carry weight, literally and figuratively. It begins to smell. It's something that lingers.
And Kane,
Yeah.
what moment sticks out in your brain?
Yeah. Well, first thing, Kane is really, really disappointed in Runt for what she did, but is real pissed at Kane for stopping him. You're funny guy, you know.
To be quite honest, Gein doesn't really like, for as long as she's known Kane more than Rogar and Runt, like her view of doing different situations is Kane's very low on the totem pole for her. so she doesn't really care too much about
Ooh.
that.
No. So,
oh no!
so we have a lot going on. So with that in mind, put a pin in it and say the character and thereby the player that was most meaningful to yours earns your bean. Go get your bean.
Game.
I'll start. Yeah, I was gonna say I'll start it off, but he jumped the gun. Geens, when she said, "I'm gonna lay it on him."
Okay, right
That was
on.
about
You know,
the
my-
Lay it
last
out.
thing.
My character is not very
Literally.
charismatic. I have an 8 in charisma, but she just thought of the first thing she could.
Got an
I've been
18 in
in
shock.
Constitution.
There you go.
The last thing
Shady?
I expected to hear.
With everybody else that's going to Ian, I want to give it to Kane because when he his very casually pulled some big dick energy by pulling out his badge while he's talking to the halfling. I was
There you
like,
go.
oh shit, okay, Kane. It's like the toughest I've ever seen him. You know what I mean? So I like that.
Right.
I kind of wanna. I want to give my bean to Kane too because I feel like at the beginning of it he was trying to take charge of the situation and trying to turn it in a direction that he felt like maybe this would be a safe way. Like telling him, "Oh, we separated with the group, and so they're not with us anymore." And he was trying to solve it in his own way, but Geen just kind of fucked it up.
He was
think you're-
wheeling and dealing, man. It was nice.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we're at time, so it's that time again to say goodbye. And I just want to applaud all of you. It was a great game.
that
Thanks
was
very
fun.
much, and I hope you all have a good night. So we'll see you again next week.
Yeah.
Watching.
Later. I think we're gonna wave for a while.
Yeah.
Top thing you want to see next week? Somebody shut it up. What's gonna happen next game? Predictions.